Hey everyone, this is Janice Wright from the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and we are bringing you part 2 of our series for Keeping It a Safe Summer, or K.I.S.S. Today, we are with representatives from the Army Substance Abuse Program, and we are going to talk about all the ways they can help you keep it a safe summer. All that and more on this week's episode of the Great Big Podcast. Let's get right into it, you guys. We're so happy to have you here. Won't you introduce yourselves to our listeners?
Good morning. My name is Janin Melendez, and I am the ASAP Prevention Branch Chief here at Fort Cavazos.
Nice to have you.
Hey, I'm Ron Smiley from the Army Substance Program here on Fort Cavazos. I am a prevention coordinator.
All right. Well, we all know that the Army Substance Abuse Program, or ASAP, is very impactful, and you kind of have your hands in a lot of things that go on. So tell us a little bit about the program and what it does.
Well, the program is great. Historically, we have had 5 or 6 sections, but right now we are down to 3 as we undergo some changes.
Okay.
So right now we are composed of drug testing, the EAP, or Employee Assistance Program, and prevention and education.
Okay.
So, of course, everybody knows what drug testing is, right?
Absolutely.
So we do civilian testing for pre-hires, random testing, and just making sure that our civilian sector and workplace is able to fully support the service members and their families.
Absolutely.
And on the military side, we train our unit prevention leaders to make sure they are able to do drug testing at the unit level. And we do quality control and support as they are in the field, on rotations, and on the ground. So that's a 24-hour, 5-day-a-week, full-time gig for drug testing.
Sounds like you're juggling multiple hats.
Yes, and the EAP is one of those resources that exists for Army civilians and their family members. So we all know there are a multitude of resources for service members when it comes to getting help, but the EAP is there to provide short-term counseling.
And what does EAP stand for?
Employee Assistance Program.
Just for our listeners.
Yeah, thank you. Short-term counseling, kind of training, enhancement of skill sets for civilian employees and their family members. So if you are having everyday issues, concerns, life's at times.
And that can be, a big deal here in the military sector, in the military community, soldiers, family members. Yes.
Change in life never stops.
Life is always lifing.
Yes, that's what they say, right? So it's a place that civilians can come to get help from trained and credentialed staff members who have backgrounds in counseling, and kind of get resources, get some assistance working through things that are bothersome. And then civilians, supervisors can get some help if they have some kind of concerns about what they're seeing in the workplace with employees, so they can kind of assist without getting too involved. So lastly, we have our prevention and education section, and they provide an awesome, impactful experience for our service members by going to the units, doing general training, tailored training to help increase their awareness about illicit substance use, misuse, and just regular abuse. They are interacting with family members, with kids in the school. They're all over the place, right? Just doing an awesome job at just trying to help others be able and be better equipped to help other people.
Excellent. Okay, so as you guys know, summer is fast approaching. Temperatures are already soaring. And of course, we here at the Great Place are celebrating the 101 days of summer with the K.I.S.S campaign, which means keep it a safe summer. I like to say, keep it safe for soldiers, but we're going to go with keep it a safe summer.
Okay.
They both apply. Right. So tell us a little bit about how the ASAP program is supporting that initiative.
Before we go into that, I would like to hear from you all, right? What have you heard KISS means. What does KISS mean? What is the acronym?
For me, from what I'm told, it's keeping it a safe summer.
Okay. What else have you heard? What does KISS mean?
I made up my own. Keeping it safe for soldiers.
Okay, keeping it safe for soldiers.
I got one too. Keep it simple, Smiley.
That one too.
Keep it simple.
Well, you know
smiley.
what they say: keep it simple, stupid.
Okay,
but we're not going to say that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Darren with the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and Janice had shared with me that information about it's we have many different acronyms for KISS,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it resonates with soldiers. But I think that everyone recognizes anything that deals with safety has a over-encompassing, overarching, meaning to it. It can apply to many different things.
Right.
Absolutely.
We've already had the safety office in here a few times, but overall summer safety as we prepare to enter these hotter, crazier months can apply to various different things. So I know we just recently closed down Bora, unfortunately, due to the weather.
Mm-hmm.
We're now getting ready for the other summer campaigns, such as, advising people on boating safety, advising people on hydration, staying out of the temperate climates and hydrating themselves so they do not have heat-related injury. But also it applies to general wellness and safety as well with your guys' office in terms of ASAP.
Right.
I think what's important is that we actually discuss the preventative measures, because I think when people hear ASAP, there's inevitably a negative connotation,
Right.
especially if you're in a green suit, because people see that is now a commander taking an action. But Janice and I have learned previously that there is many programs, that you can participate in. ASAP is there to assist you with self-disclosure and other things, and, programs that will help a service member or a DA civilian in the case of the EAP to enable them to continue on with their respective careers if they just merely identify that they have an issue and they seek help and treatment for it.
Now, of course, we have a lot of fun with the acronym, of course, but we understand that the ASAP program is a very serious and a very real resource to help with a very real issue. And, now that summer is upon us, we know that with that comes festivities and events and activities that often involve, alcohol and other things like that. So we really want to know what the program, does in support of the whole KISS campaign.
Okay, let me give you what we think KISS is. Okay, keep it a safe summer. It is a Department of Defense sponsored substance abuse awareness campaign, and it's focused on mitigating the high-risk behaviors such as we've talked about: driving, boating, and swimming while consuming alcohol during the summer months. We all know during the summer, a lot of Americans actually take vacations. Soldiers are Americans too, so they take these different type of vacations. And a lot of times when we're celebrating during the summer months, we celebrate with alcohol. Our goal, the ASAP goal this summer, is to highlight and raise awareness of using alcohol during the summer months, and trying to protect one of the number one resources that everybody talks about, which is the soldiers themselves, to include their family members and the surrounding Fort Cavazos community.
So why do you think that the DOD initiated this campaign? What motivated it?
Well, I think as Mr. Smiley said, right, we all look forward to vacation time off. And sometimes that vacation and time off is synonymous with some increased alcohol use and other substances, right? Because you are not setting alarm clocks, you're on your downtime, you're relaxing. Some people use certain things to help them relax. Yes, it's hot outside, but alcohol is used to hydrate when, okay.
Unfortunately, yes.
Right. And so it's just, a culmination of concerns and trends and wanting to highlight certain things to help people as they prepare to relax, to keep the things in mind that will help their families, help keep them safe, and help them to actually come back to do what they love to do and what they signed up to do. So
it's all about having a good time in the safest way possible, right?
Right.
So, unfortunately, we know that rules, guidelines are set in place after, a catastrophe or after something happens. So in order to take a more proactive and preventative take on it, what could our listeners do, to kind of avoid, the pitfalls of, substance abuse,
I mean, the first thing, like I said before, just make sure you have a plan in place to make sure you arrive alive, you get home safe. Think about the consequences of drinking and driving and how it can actually affect your family. A lot of times we go out and enjoy ourselves, but we never look at what some of the consequences can be down the road for our family members and ourselves.
And what do some of those ways, some of the, ways that, people can look out for themselves, what do some of those ways include? I know that often we hear the buddy system in the military.
Designated drivers, share rides. If you're going to celebrate at home.
Absolutely.
So, it's a lot of things you can do, other than just drinking alcohol. You could, have game night or something like that. So again, designated drivers, share rides, making sure your designated driver is a sober driver and not somebody that's drinking alcohol.
They think they might be able to drink one or two and still drive. No, that's probably not
sober
the
designated
thing.
driver.
Right. I also think it's important for you to just do a self-assessment and truly take an opportunity to pause and get to know yourself, your habits, how you have celebrated in the past, what has worked, what has not worked, what you need to sustain and what you need to change, right? Truly knowing who you are surrounding yourself with and planning accordingly, right? So I always say, just because Johnny is your friend and Johnny has a history, sometimes, you got to put a pause on Johnny and, make sure that you take care of yourself or, have a battle buddy and make sure that person is able to give you some kind of word or, intervene or kind of look out for you as you plan to look out for yourself. We all know that we look forward to these down times and truly just being able to relax, not have a care in the world in some sense, but we do have to plan so that, we can come back and be who we need to be for ourselves and for others. So
absolutely.
Decisions happen in a blink of an eye, and that can have a lasting impact on not only yourself, but others, right? And sometimes we don't think it will happen to us, but it can, and it does. And it will every single summer, every single day of the week, really. So we really have to be intentional and be mindful of what we are doing. And we can plan to have fun too. Like Mr. Smiley was saying,
that's what summer's all about.
You plan to have fun, but we also have to be responsible for ourselves and for other people.
I think we actually talked about this with the safety offices. Is that one of the biggest issues is not the fact that sometimes we don't have a plan, but it's more complacency. We think that we have the plan, but like you said, Smiley, we deviate from it. We make changes on the fly. And when that Swiss cheese model lines up or those series of unfortunate events lined up, that's when we have an incident. And I think we also live in this bubble, if you will, is that we spend most of our time doing high risk operations in the military, that when we go home, we forget that decision-making process can continue in civilian life. We can apply those same lenses and those same filters and those same planning efforts to keep us safe at home, because we actually, Janice, responding to your question, I think we talked about what drives these campaigns is that really it's data. I mean, we see that in the summer months, we have a lot more fatalities. The weather has become more favorable, even though it's hot. It's more favorable to go outside.
Yes. The
kids are out of school. Motorcycle riding conditions are better. Boating conditions are better. So all these things stack up. That's why you have those boat-related incidents, drowning incidents, and PMB2 and PMB4 crashes, because you have that propensity to enjoy those activities more in the summer months, which results in the data producing more incidents. And so, like we always say, the Army is going to react to the data, right? We're going to make more focused efforts on, so for instance, when in the winter, we focus on winter weather safety. In the summer, it's the same concept, except now we have a lot more factors. Families, having more time with their kids because the kids are out of school, soldiers getting block leave. All these things kind of align to that Swiss cheese model, and you throw a bad decision in there, then all of a sudden you have an incident that can have repercussions that last for ages, as opposed to a simple decision you think you are going to be good with. I mean, even we talked about seatbelts, like the most common issue with vehicle related incidents, whether you're PMV2 or PMV4. Most of the time it happens when you're only a couple blocks from your house. I'm just going down the street, no big deal. Well, that could turn into a big deal real quick if you're not properly prepared.
Right.
And it goes back to what you said, split decisions.
Right.
To make that decision to click it, and you never know. Someone could come and sideswipe you. No fault of your own, but had you had that seatbelt on, could be a life-saving decision as well.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Who are y'all kissing? Who are y'all kissing?
I'm kissing everybody.
You kissing everybody?
I want to see everybody kiss. I want to see everybody kiss. I want to see everybody keeping it a safe summer.
Got it.
Yeah, y'all. I know y'all can't see us right now. We're recording this, but I'm not talking about the other kids. We're keeping it safe for the summer right now.
Affectionate type. We're talking about making sure you enjoy this summer weather, the activities, the festivities in the safest way possible.
Right. So
this right here is like one of our longest running campaigns for the summer safety. Of course, we do holidays between the November and December, but this is the longest one. It's important to us because we know, like I said before, we're here to try to protect those family members, those soldiers, and the surrounding community. This right here, this campaign gives all that leadership right here on Fort Cavazos and 3 Corps, gives them opportunity to speak to the soldiers about drinking and driving. That's one of the reasons why we do this. We want to raise that awareness.
Right. And for some reason, I don't think we are the only ones who's having fun with this acronym.
Right.
I think somebody upstairs thought about it like, that's pretty catchy.
Yeah. So the reason I asked the question is because we kiss the ones that we love, right? That we hold dear. And so when we allow ourselves to be inebriated or be in a state where we're not as reactive, right? We're not able to truly care for those that we love, that the ones that we hold dearest.
That's a good point.
Imagine you being not being able to act or to do something if an emergency took place because you're not in your right frame or state of mind, right? That could be devastating for you, devastating for that individual. You could be left with a lot of guilt. And I'm always, just wanting to encourage people to think about the things that we plan for and those that we don't plan for, right? So I want to encourage everyone to keep it safe so you can sustain, right? Keep it safe for you. Keep it safe for others. It may not always be the best thing to be the person who has to go up to someone and tap them on their shoulder and say, okay, right. You've had enough, or, I think you should stop, or, pull them to the side, or whatever the case may be. But, just think about that person, the family they have here, the family they have back at home, their future, right? Your future. And I think that's what we have to do, is keep those things in mind, because, most times we want to see that future and we want to see the things that are to come. So we have to plan in order for that to be able to happen. So
I like that. The 3 F's: the family, your friends, and the future. I like
that. Yeah. And I also like the way that you put in a perspective and kind of, it makes you internalize it. You're kissing the ones you love, the ones you hold most dear. So those are the ones you really, really want to look out for. But as soldiers, we all hold one another dear.
Right.
Even though I'm a veteran, I'm always a soldier.
Right.
So like I said, not literally, but figuratively, I'm kissing everyone. Right. And I want to see everyone kiss as well.
Right. Survive and thrive.
So Darren, you have a background in law enforcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of things in your experience have you seen that could be easily changed with, just different thought process and putting a plan in place and really thinking things through?
I think what we see the most, especially with PMV2 and PMV4 incidences or alcohol related incidences, is the same thing we talked about, is people thinking they're good in the moment. One, alcohol is an inhibitor. It makes you a little more confident in yourself. Whether you're dancing on the dance floor or getting behind the wheel of a car or a motorcycle, and your inhibitions go down when you consume intoxicating beverages. And I think you mentioned it, earlier, is knowing your limits, knowing how it affects you. I know plenty of folks that, drink socially that say, hey, I know where I have to stop to enable me to just function, let alone drive a car. So, excuse me. With that, we see people making that deliberate decision, identifying problems before they happen, saying, hey, I know that today was a rough day. I'm going to partake in libations a little bit more than usual. So I'm going to put a plan in place. Hey, here's my keys. I'm going to call an Uber. I'm going to plan an Uber already. Those are the things we see, but we see it's when those people deviate from that plan, and either A, they didn't plan to fully do what they were planning, or what they did, they get behind the wheel of a car and they make a mistake. We understand that people want to let their hair down and have a good time, but there is, rules in place. So you put that law enforcement officer in a bad spot when you're trying to explain yourself. You're just your intentions may have been good, just trying to have a good time and, relax a little bit, but your actions can have deadly consequences that you may not even be thinking about. And they have personal consequences. You see the billboards, you see the posters. Sometimes people don't heed that warning until it's too late and you got red and blues sitting behind you and you're getting some bracelets added to your jewelry wardrobe there. So
absolutely.
One of the things that we talk about and teach a lot is 1, 2, 3, 1 an hour, no more than 2 drinks, a day, some of that, because when you start saying, hey, you know your limit to you may be more than
that's a great
more
point.
than 3 or 4. It may be 4 or 5 or 6. Normally, the healthy way is to make sure you fall in that 0, 1, 2, 3, 1 hour between each drink, and trying to not drink no more than 3 drinks on any given day, because that's kind of more towards the health part of drinking too.
That's a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, for me, my tolerance is very low.
Right.
A half a glass of wine, I'm zonked out on the couch. But that's just me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And we see the big one is people, they're they feel okay when they leave an establishment, but you're not accounting for how that, alcohol relates to your blood alcohol content level, right, and how it affects you on the drive. You have a 30-minute drive home. How you feel at the bar will be vastly different than how when you arrive to your house, especially when you're out of a lit environment. If you're driving at night, which most of the time these events occur, your body reacts differently based off the alcohol in your system. And this is a common misnomer. There's a lot of states that have DUI, what's called less safe, meaning that you may not be fully classified as a DUI.
Correct.
AKA you're not above, which the national limit is generally set at 0.08.
All right.
You could be at 0.06. But an officer determines that you are intoxicated. In some states, they can still give you either a DUI or DWI charge. Right. So I've seen people that are well over the limit that they were actually, good enough to drive, but they were just that another infraction caused them to get breathalyzed because they came in contact with a law enforcement officer. Then I've seen people well under the limit cause car accidents.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword, and it's knowing yourself, but at the end of the day, it's just knowing not to take the risk.
Right.
Right. Have a plan, abide by the plan. What is an Uber to an establishment? $20?
Exactly.
A DUI is about 10,000. So
yeah, $20 or, sitting in jail, having to pay extra money maybe that you didn't have, having your family have to, go through that. The comparison is really not a comparison. If you think about the consequences, I think that also helps you to try to make better decisions, make a plan. So if we were to constitute the ultimate K.I.S.S checklist, what would that entail?
Ooh. So know what you are doing, right? Know, proper planning.
Okay.
So know what you are doing, know who you are doing it with, know what you plan to do, know yourself, right? So when you sense that hesitation, right, that's internal, and you have an internal struggle with making a decision, or I should have said no, but I don't want so and so to think that I'm lame or whatever they say now. Know your limits, know your boundaries, and plan accordingly, right? So just because you have done things in the past doesn't mean you have to do them currently or do them in the future. Just because you have been on a boat and have drank or been at a festival and, took a pill or did, smoke weed or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean you have to continue to do that. with whoever you're with. And we know we could have a whole different conversation about who you are involved with, right?
Who you surround yourself with greatly impacts what you do and how you do things.
And them not being respectful of your boundaries. But just knowing yourself. And
this campaign runs from Memorial Day through Labor Day each year. This year it starts on 27 May. We kind of passed that, but it runs all the way into September.
Okay.
And one of the last things I want to put out is please have a well thought out plan when traveling, because a lot of people are going to travel during the summer month. Of course, we talked about the boating. Make sure we got a plan where we're going to boat, swim, or do any activities in the summer heat. Make sure we stay hydrated, because everybody deserves to have a good summer, and we want to see everybody back safely. So,
is there a ratio of water that you should drink with each alcoholic beverage? Or do you just want to drink more water than you do the alcohol? You just want to stay hydrated.
Like I said, you don't want to drink no more than 3 standard drinks. And most people are going to ask what a standard drink is, and you need to know what that is also. If you're going to drink a beer, American beer is 12 ounces. If you're going to drink a glass of wine, it is 5 ounces. Okay. If you're going to drink hard liquor, the Army focus on 80 proof. So you should drink 1.5 ounces.
Yeah.
That's
I've
what you should be drinking on a standard drink.
It was like 3 glasses of water to each alcoholic beverage. So I was just curious.
Right. I think it depends on what you drink. So if you're drinking, like you said, you drink a half a glass of wine at
5 ounces. For me, it's 4. I like to point that out.
So that's like 12% or so, right? But if you're drinking mojito, a Long Island iced tea, if you're talking about standard serving sizes, those drinks can have 3 standard serving sizes with that one drink. So typically we equate, okay, I paid for one drink, I'm drinking one drink. You paid for one drink, but you're drinking 3 servings. So it puts you
because
well
they're pretty
over,
large nowadays.
Right.
Those margaritas, yes.
Well over your hourly limit. So and I liked what you said about how people are feeling, right? So just because your normal is drinking 3 to 4 beers and you feel fine, that doesn't mean that your blood alcohol level isn't over the limit, right? Tolerance comes into play, and your normal doesn't mean it's the standardized normal, and you're not still at an increased risk for something to happen. So
yeah, we see it all the time, and from the law enforcement perspective is that we kind of walk people through their day, like just tell us what happened, Common trends is that you really can't set a limit of how much water you should ingest in comparison to alcohol, because literally everyone's going to be different. What affects me is not going to affect Janice. What affects Janice is not going to affect Sean. So all these different things happen based off your body type, your tolerance, because there is a tolerance effect, what you consume for food, if you're on any medications. So all these things come into play. How long you spend in the sun, it's amazing that there's all these factors that come into play in terms of what alcohol or any other intoxicating, either liquids and or narcotics does to you. So you have to be very, very cautious, because we've heard this all the time too. Well, I normally only drink 3 to 4 beers, and I only drank 3 to 4 beers. I feel fine. Well, then you add you're on over-the-counter medication, you're on prescription medication.
Rest.
That's something we did not mention. Combining alcohol with certain medications may not be the safest thing either.
Right. And I know we highlighted and focused on alcohol a lot, but if we are facing the reality that we are in, right, people also choose to use different substances, some misuse based off of prescriptions that may not be yours, or that may be
which can be really dangerous. Taking things unknown prescriptions, other people's pills. You never know what it's laced with. You never know how your body is going to react to it. So it is highly, highly dangerous.
Yeah. So you never know, right? And before you're taking anything, you need to think about the what ifs, right? It may not play out like you anticipated playing out, right? You mentioned things being laced with different items. So you have, I always say that drug pushers are, trying to maintain lifelong customers, right? So they're not giving you something that isn't potent and that you're not going to come back for. So they, marijuana blunts or whatever the case may be are being laced with, fentanyl and all of these things that you don't even know you're getting that are a lot more addictive than what you're paying for.
It's just too much going on to be, careless.
Ooh,
and take for granted what you think you might be taking. Oh, it's fine. We're losing young people left and right just to, taking pills, taking things they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a pandemic.
Right in itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just these dangerous behaviors, the illicit style behavior. So obviously we have people that abuse over-the-counter medications. We have people that abuse alcohol. But in terms of the illicit side, obviously most of these substances that you can purchase on the street illicitly carry a felony charge. So people are doing nefarious things, one, just to get them to sell to you. And I hate to tell you, if you don't know this already, drug dealers aren't reputable people. There's no FDA certification for the narcotics that they're pushing.
They're not pharmacists, even though they're called that.
Right.
Even if they're wearing a lab coat, I wouldn't trust the purchase of any illicit narcotic, especially what you mentioned earlier is the fentanyl skirt. Fentanyl is not something that can be played with. In fact, it is a systemic issue in law enforcement, not for use, but for contact. We have law enforcement officers nearly passing away every single day because they become in contact with fentanyl in small doses. That is absolutely
terrifying. Terrifying.
So Narcan and these other counter, narcotics to these effects of the instances of fentanyl, cocaine, heroin, all these different illicit narcotics have a far-reaching impact. And if you see, it's not something that you're going to get at a bar or you're going to get at a pharmacy that's going to end up causing you issues. It's the illicit stuff that you buy at the bar from someone that is, frankly, doesn't care about you.
Absolutely.
They don't know you from Adam. They just want your money. So to think that you're going to be okay, even if you get these illicit sources or narcotics from people you trust, you don't know where they got it from. So we have to really focus on being safe. And one, we all acknowledge that being a federal employee, whether you're a green suiter or not, we can't consume these illicit narcotics.
Right. Correct.
So it's a pure legal sense that's outside of the safety sense. But if you can't apply the legal common sense focus of not using it, it's out of pure self-sustaining. You have to look at it and say, this is dangerous to me. And I have to look at it from that perspective to not use it.
Yeah. And if you don't know, don't do it. Just don't do it. Cause you can't come back from some of the things that are happening. And I always say, just think about if that was your friend or what your parents or what your wife or your kids would have to go through.
Absolutely.
If something happened, and how that would make them feel is just, it's unimaginable. And so.
Can't replay life.
Right. No.
You can't. Nothing like an honest and open discussion to put things in perspective.
Right. Definitely. We have great information. We can offer you additional resources. We're not afraid to have those courageous conversation and those challenging conversations and to point you in the right direction. There's no shame in choosing you today or tomorrow.
Choosing you, choosing your loved ones.
Choosing your spouse, choosing your kids, choosing your future, those things that have not come to fruition. Right. It's never too late to do something different if that's what you want for you. So just be mindful of what you want for yourself and what you can do to enjoy yourself, but also get to what you want to do and where you want to be in the future. So,
well, there you have it, folks. Keeping it a safe summer. We want everybody to kiss. We want to see everybody kiss. Embrace it. We want you to have a great summer, a fun summer, an engaging summer, a summer full of activities with your families and your friends, but most importantly, a safe summer. Thank you guys for being on. We surely appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pride Month to me is the ability to accept myself.
Without any stipulations, any judgment of what you're doing and who you're trying to be. It's all about love. And
it's a moment where I can express and celebrate who I am.
Live freely as myself while serving our country.
It's the ability to just be happy.
It's the freedom to choose to love who you want to love
loving the people you're around and being carefree.
To be open and be yourself, to not feel like you have to be shielded or guarded.
A time for me to allow myself to love myself, be accepted by myself.
And that you can really just be who you are as your authentic self.
Remember that I have loved ones around me who love me for me.
Just going back on the history of Pride Month and being able to pay respect to those who paved the way for me today.
There's a lot going on here at the Great Place. Summer is upon us, and I'm just really, really excited about this new series we're doing for the 101 Days of Summer, and in support of the K.I.S.S initiative, which we all know stands for Keep It a Safe Summer. We had a lot of fun rearranging the acronym and applying it elsewhere, but it does basically stand for Keep It a Safe Summer. Also could stand for Keep It Safe for Soldiers. So yeah, really interesting things. You know, a lot of festivities and activities during the summer involve alcohol and other substances to, you know, make us feel good and everything. But we really do need to be vigilant and diligent in making sure that we are enjoying ourselves in the safest way possible.
Hey guys, this is Sean Davis with Fort Cavazos Public Affairs. And yeah, Janice, I think you brought up a lot of really important points about steps you can take to make sure you're safe. Also just things that are getting talked on in general, you know.
Yes.
It's really important to make sure you have a plan.
Absolutely.
When you go out, even for the smallest things like sunscreen, mosquito repellent. You know, I'd hate for people out there having fun to just have their whole deal turn all dramatic because, you know, I don't know, they catch malaria or something.
Well, even beyond, you know, sunscreen and mosquito repellent, even, you know, more serious things like actually if you're going to go out and have a, you know, a fun night with your friends, to put a plan in place.
Yes.
You know, have a sober driver, make sure that you can get home safely. You know, again, we always, you know, bring up the hop. We do have the hop here on, you know, the installation to help in those instances. You don't have to drive. You can either walk or you can take the hop. Either way, it's safer than getting behind the wheel inebriated, which, you know, is going to cause a domino effect. You're going to, you know, damage yourself. You could hurt somebody else. You're going to, you know, bring about all these, you know, problems that you don't necessarily need if you just, you know, make the right decision and put a plan in place.
Yeah, you know, one bad night can lead to years of just agony, grief, problems. So,
absolutely.
You know, and it usually it's something as small as maybe 15 minutes of planning can make all the difference.
Yeah, it makes all the difference. You know, like Darren mentioned on the podcast. You know, you don't want to add to your jewelry collection with those handcuffs. You know, I don't think that's a good look. So yeah, just be cognizant of what you're going to do, put a plan in place and, you know, have people you can trust around you so you can all have a good time safely. That's what the K.I.S.S initiative is all about.
Yeah. And keep it a safe summer. All right. Speaking of plans, I think we have a couple things for those of you who are making your future plans going on.
Absolutely. So tomorrow, the Transition Assistance Program is hosting a summer mega career fair from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Lone Star Conference Center here at Fort Cavazos. The fair will have employers from a variety of organizations, and it also offer many resources for soldiers transitioning out of the Army. So anyone with the DoD ID card or, you know, can have access to the installation is welcome to attend. For more information about that, you can call the TAP office at 254-288-2227 or 254-288-5627, or you can just come on out and we'll see you there because Sean and I will be there.
Yeah, go out and get a job. You know, if you're sitting around, got nothing else to do. That's definitely go out there.
It really helps to make a seamless transition from your Army career into the civilian sector. These kind of career fairs, they house all of the different employers in one venue, so it makes it really, really easy to talk to several and figure out what's the right fit for you in the next phase of your career.
Yeah. Alternatively, those of you who are into sports and might have a younger one or two, the Religious Supports Office is hosting a chapel sports camp happening June 17th to the 20th. And that is 8 a.m. to noon every day for those 3 days. And it's free. So
we
it's
love free.
Yeah. It's for children ages 6 to 14. They also have a alternative camp for ages 4 to 5. But basically, it's a good chance for your kids to go out, meet other kids, play around, learn some sports from a very basic level. And for those of you who need volunteering opportunities, they are also looking for volunteers. Now, there is a caveat. You do have to pass a background check, though. I don't know how you would fail a background check if you're already on post, DOD and everything. But make sure you register for that through the Religious Supports Office, and their phone number is going to be 254-288-6545 for more information. So be sure to check that out.
Absolutely, that sounds fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So another great thing happening on the installation is the Red Cross is opening a dental assistant program. They're offering that. So the Fort Cavazos American Red Cross office is accepting applications for the dental assistant program. The Dental Health Command, it'll train Red Cross volunteers in the basic skills needed to work as a dental assistant. The program starts October 21st and runs through May 9th, 2025. Individuals who are interested must submit their application no later than August 16th. So you do have some time, but if you're like me, you let procrastination get the best of you sometimes. So you might not want to wait if you're interested. Applicants are required to have a valid military ID card and be a U.S. citizen. And also you have to be 18 years or older and have a high school diploma or GED. You also have to be in the Fort Cavazos, Killeen area for at least 1 year. For more information about the program, please email fort.cavazos@redcross.org, or you can call 254-287-0403, or you can visit the Red Cross office right here on the installation at 36,000 Dornell Loop, room 1039. But please give them a call prior to coming so they know to expect you. So I think that's an excellent, excellent opportunity, to start a new career.
Yeah, no, it's a really big deal. Dental health is connected to a lot of other aspects of
you would be surprised.
Yeah, so if anyone has a passion in that, that's definitely an easy resource that's right there for you. So
absolutely,
make sure you take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, parents have another little sports camp to look forward to next month, and that is in July 18th through 19th. That is hosted by Luke Schoonmaker, the Dallas Cowboys tight end. He's doing a little football camp for children ages 6 to 14, or dependents, retirees, DOD employees, stuff like that. So be a little fun, exciting event. That's hosted by the Child and Youth Services. That goes on from 9 a.m. to noon for both days. And give them a call at 254-288-2214 to register. It's only for the first 150 kids. So it's pretty cool, I think.
I would think that would be pretty cool. If I was a youngster and I was meeting a big time NFL player, I'd be geeked.
Yeah.
I'd be thrilled.
The only downside of that is for you late risers, 9 a.m. to noon is the time for the camp. So
I think that's ample time. I think you can sleep in a little bit and still make it.
You'd be surprised. I hated waking up as a kid. In addition to that, Luke Shoemaker is also going to be doing an autograph session July 18th, shortly after the camp at 12:30 at the main exchange, where, if you wanted to get your autograph on, he's right there. He's going to do it for the first 150 people. It's the one day, so make sure you check that out.
Did you say 12:30?
Yeah, 12:30.
Okay, so he means 12:30. I've never heard him use that.
In case anyone would ever think to show up at 12:30, try the doors and go, hey, what's going on?
12:30, you guys, not sure. 12:30. If you show up at 12:30, I pretty much can tell you nobody's going to be there.
Yeah, you have other problems at that point. But check it out.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And remember, you guys, it's only the first 150 youngsters to get, an autograph. So make sure that you're there on time and in line so you can get your autograph.
Yeah. Make sure, be safe when you do it. I mean, remember, keep it a safe summer. Don't be getting into your car after the camp and then going 80 down
That's right.
Tank Battalion Avenue or anything like that. Yeah. So make sure you kiss your kids.
Absolutely. So Sean, it's another manic Monday. We're on the grind. What are your plans for a successful week?
For me, I don't really have a whole lot going on. I'm saving up to do something special for the week of the 4th of July.
Nice.
That's always fun. I know for a fact we have the Freedom Fest to look forward to.
We do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Me, I really try to make sure I come into the week with a positive attitude. Sometimes, some Mondays that is easier, than others, but I'm definitely in the mind frame of having a very positive and productive week this week. I try to drink my water, get my workouts in, keep moving, make sure I do my best, in whatever stories I'm working on the podcast. So that's pretty much my recipe for a successful and productive week.
Yeah, I mean, once you get into a rhythm of anything, typically it's a lot healthier for you. You can start managing things better, and
yes,
hydration is a very big
absolutely.
part. Especially with
The
this
temperatures are gonna, continue to rise, so drinking water is very important. And it is not the same as drinking a soda or any sweetened drink. You need to drink water.
Yes.
Yeah, to stay hydrated. And that's, I think that's my personal belief, but I don't think you can quench your thirst the same with a Coke than you can
can't.
with water.
No. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we don't have much. We just want you guys to have a very productive and positive week like we are going to try to have. And we will see you back next week right here at the Great Big Podcast.
All right. Be safe, y'all. See you next time. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Cavazos and Fort Cavazos Public Affairs production. Have a question or want to share some of your wisdom with us? Drop us an email at fortcavazosbao@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fort Cavazos Army. And as always, be sure to leave us a review